talk a little bit more about what a bot is.
Yeah, that bot is the thing we talked about. It's running a piece of software they installed on your
Mm.
computer. You don't know it's even there. And
Mhm.
they're using your computer to go out and perform attacks.
Got it.
So one thing they can do is say, hey, we know this firewall has this bug and it'll let me in. So I'm going to scan to see if I can find some of those. So if you haven't updated your firewall, that's a good way in. We have everything up to date. We have the firewall. You're doing all these things. That's when they're going to start looking for back ways in. But yeah, it's still important to have those technologies to fortify the front of your network.
Makes sense. Okay. So the consequences, some strategies. We talked a little bit about business, the risk of business failure. And I just think about, being a business owner and all the risks that you have to balance each and every day just to keep your company moving in the right direction. And then you add this layer to it, right? Where all of your data back in the old days was distributed. Now it's sitting all in one place. If someone gets in, that's your company's intellectual property. It's everything. And so business failure really does become a big risk to consider and to mitigate against. And the incremental investment that we ask folks to make to protect that valuable asset it should be a consideration.
We talked about one of the things they go after is backups, right?
Mhm.
If they take your backups, they take you know, your systems down, you might not even be able to make payroll.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mean, think about, okay, I've got into your system. We've, got into your backups. We've got that, backup offline. It still might take a week to get you back online. Once that happens, we have to make sure you're still out of the system. And we know that they're not going to get back in.
Mm.
Uh, One of the things we recommend is keeping an eye on your cybersecurity insurance. I've found that a lot of those good insurance companies have a team that can come in and make sure that these guys are out of the system. They do the forensics, they make sure, because these guys, they're insurance companies. They don't want to pay out more than they have to. So they want to make sure this thing stopped, that you're able to continue business and that their claim isn't going to be larger than it needs to be. So that's one of the things that's pretty important.
And one thing you've shared in the past is a commitment to a yearly check, an audit, if you will. Cyber security insurance used to be an afterthought, right? It
Mhm.
might have been an add-on to a policy, but you're dealing with most companies deal with a lot of insurance. So cyber insurance, okay, well, but that's a component of it, but it's become more front and center. And I've seen examples of clients that have it, unfortunately have a breach, and then they find certain things aren't covered and they don't know it. And of course, the train's left the station. There's nothing that can be done about it in the moment. So by having, I mean, we're talking an hour of time of an engineer to go through and just audit, things are changing so quickly. Is that a worthwhile investment? It's a small one, but wouldn't it have a pretty high dividend if you do it consistently?
It's just like any insurance. We had a big fire here in Colorado. It
Mm.
destroyed hundreds of homes and, all on the news. None of this coverage was enough. So you want to make sure you have it. And then does it cover a business failure? How much per hour do you lose when your business is not, is not
That's a
able to
great way
function?
to think about it.
So yeah,
Great
we
way.
want to we want to check it. You want to check
Mm.
it. You want to make sure it's adequate. You want to make sure that, it covers the business failure as well as, like I said, we've got some insurance companies that they've got teams that they'll do the forensic. They even have, teams that will negotiate with the bad actors to get your data back and get you back online. So yeah, absolutely. I would audit that every year.